everyone, it's Diane Evans with StampingWithDiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So welcome to my YouTube or my Facebook page. I truly do appreciate it. I'm humbled that I do have people that do come and watch, and I'm humbled that people do subscribe to my YouTube videos. Make sure that you do that down below or down over here. Not sure exactly where it's actually showing up now. It changes from month to month sometimes. So anyways, I truly do appreciate you all being here. This is card sketch on my weekend. So we're on to card sketch number 263. Another simple sketch, because sometimes simple is the best in a lot of different ways. Yeah, so I'm hoping that you will join along in the card sketch challenge. Make sure that you post a picture in the Facebook group, which is just down below here. Hello, Lena. And so yeah, I hope that you will take advantage to be inspired by the card sketch. Very simple card sketch. No fancy dies on here at all. And there's just something off the card sketch that I have to explain to you. All right, so what is going on? Don't forget about Sip and Stamp tonight. So if you want to bring projects to work on yourself, we just chit and we chat and we talk about just a bunch of different things on here. So yeah, we hope that you will join me and my friends on Sip and Stamp tonight. All right, card sketch number 263. Wow. Been doing them since COVID. Missed a few, and I'm not as diligent that I have to have it done if I'm away, and that's good for my health as well. All right, so let's go down to my desktop here, and this is card sketch number 263. I'm bringing this closer. Somebody said that they'd rather take a screenshot than go into my Facebook group or my Facebook page, and also on my Instagram. We'll have this card sketch. The one thing that's a little bit different, because of the paper that I used, I needed to put a background here just to show these measurements on here. But remember, my regular card base, I always show as the finished card base. And I got to grab a coffee or a sip. Oh dear, dear. Anyways, this is just a background. So you just have your regular card base. Layer 1 is a regular base, and then it's this that is layer number 2, layer number 3 is there, and layer number 4 is there. And this is just a sentiment layer that you can use any size that you have. And I like to leave that kind of open, because you might have a bit bigger, a bit smaller, that sort of stuff. So it's up to you. Now I decided to bring out something that's been around. It's an online exclusive. It's these textured notes. Nothing cuts these out, but these dies, these rectangle dies, are amazing. I just hope that these do not retire too soon. And it does have the beautiful designer series paper that goes with it in black and white. Just really some stunning backgrounds on there. This one's really kind of cool. What else have I got here? And we're going to be using this one today, and it's got this on the back. And like I say, it's called, this designer series paper is called Botanical Textures, and there's lots that you can do with this. I've made some pretty cool, I think some pretty cool gifts for on stage with that as well. Hello, Mary from the Netherlands, welcome. And hello, Evelyn. Hello, hello, hello. Awesome. All right, so let's get on to this card sketch, shall we? Now, like I say, card sketch number 263, this will be showing at 10:45 on my Facebook group, page, and Instagram. All right, one of my favorite new in colors from last year were Summer Splash. So we're actually going to use some Summer Splash. We're going to really use we're also going to use some blends. We're going to use some of that designer series paper. We're not using these dies, but boy, I love these dies. All right, so let's just put those off to the side. I'm going to need that stamp set in a bit, and let's just put that up there. Okay, so I have, oh my goodness, you can't ever get enough of black cards, right? So this is, like I say, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. We're going to fold, whoops, into the mountain, which is the way that you think that you wouldn't do it. Hello, Pam. And then let's just go ahead and use our bone folder and get a really good score line on there. Now, for my first layer, I went and I ran it through this this embossing folder, and this is the Turtle Textures. I really wanted a leaf one. I know that there's a new embossing folder that is coming that will be available next month to everybody. And if you're a demonstrator, it'll be available on Tuesday for you to pre-order. But I just wanted to use this because it just shows you that you do not have to really use this just for the turtles as well. And it looks like I've got a bit of some ink or something right there. So I'm just taking my sand eraser and just erasing that. All right, so I'm not going to put that on yet because I'd like to decide whether or not if I want to do something else with it. Now this piece of basic black is 3 1/4 by 4 inches, and I know for you metric gals, it's all in proportion, is how I usually say to go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and put that on. I am using glue because it is going onto an embossing folder. And you do want it to get into those nooks and crannies. So just like that. Okay, and then, like I say, that's going to go onto the black. I love those colors together. It just... I think the reason I like this color so much is because it reminds me so much of Bermuda Bay. Right, so I do have a piece of the Summer Splash. It's 2 1/4 by 5, and then the piece of Designer Series paper is 2 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to come in and we're going to actually color some of these leaves. So I'm just going to come in and color the ones that aren't colored. And that'll kind of just give us a tiny bit of color onto the Designer Series paper. Now this does bleed through a little bit more. I probably should have something underneath it. Let's do that. And a little bit here. Now, what I've done with the darker black on this, I've also taken the brayer and used the Summer Splash ink and added a bit of ink color to that. Now I'm going to come in with the dark. We're just going to put a tiny bit, not a lot, and I should probably be using the brush end. It's just there's some really, this is really quite small. And just in there, and then we'll go in and we'll blend it around as well. Oh, Mary, you like working in inches too, eh? Yeah, I like there's sometimes that I do use centimeters myself, not very often. I definitely do for all my different events that I do. But sometimes you just can't convert right. Now, I guess you do use your metric paper though, right? Mary and Evelyn? Yeah, because your cards are skinnier and longer than ours, so. Skinnier and taller. Right, so that's that simple. And we're just going to put that piece right onto there and see how that kind of just brings out a little bit and is going to match up with that. So let's come in. I'm going to use my seal. And let's just go ahead and, oops, put that right onto there. And then it's just going to go right onto there like that. Pretty simple, right? But see how that brings it about. Now, if I wanted to, I could probably put a tiny bit of the Summer Splash. Let's see, this is the dark. Maybe, you know, I could put a tiny bit in here just to do a tiny bit of highlighting in there. I wouldn't color all of it. Just a tiny little bit. So see, that even looks kind of cool in there as itself. Like I say, just a tiny little bit. So I'll bring that a little bit closer so you can see. See, it's just a tiny little bit. Oh, you don't know how to count the lines to get 10.5 centimeters or 14.3. You know, yeah, I know you can't purchase our cardstock. You know, when I was in Australia, and also when we were in Rotterdam, we did get, I'm going to actually pop this up with dimensionals. We did get metric paper. And then for us to cut to our card size. Your envelopes are bigger. Yeah, it's really too bad. But you know what? Honestly, we really should be going to metric. We should be. Now, that should be okay with no dipping. I'm going to put one there. That should be okay. I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned. Yeah, you know, even the Stampin' Up! Trimmer has, and no matter what market you're in, like if you're in the metric market, you can get these replacements, this part in inches, which is kind of cool. We can, in North America, like Canada and the States, we can get these in metric. And then you have all the metric up at the top and you have the inches down at the bottom. And same with the line across here. So it's really nice. You just don't know how to use. So if you are going to use something that is 1.2 centimeters, and I'll just quickly show you, well, let's go 1.2 centimeters. You'll go, there's your 1 centimeter, and then you just count over 2 centimeters. There's 10 centimeters. There's 10 millimeters to a centimeter. So if it's 1.2, it's like 12 millimeters is really what it is. So I hope I didn't confuse you with that. All right, so I'm just going to come and take these off. Now, something I learned in that virtual album retreat, which was totally amazing, is you don't need to take those off of the middle ones there. Those are only to keep it so that it doesn't dip. You can leave those on there as it is. So I'm just going to come in and let's just put that there. Right there. And now we're going to actually go ahead and put this onto our card base. Now, like I say, it's embossing. Oh, I used the deboss side. Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem. I think here in Canada, we switch back and forth to metric and imperial depending on what we're doing. And we added one more measurement on there, and the one I laugh at is how far is it to so and so. We don't say in miles or in kilometers, we say in hours, and I think you do that also in Europe. All right, I just got a bit of ink or glue on there. All right, so then this is the sentiment that's just going to go across here. Now, how simple of a card is that? Now, I think I might even Nope, we're going to be okay. They do have some beautiful sentiments in here. You are seriously the best. So I'm actually going to use that stamp set. So let's just get that on there. And of course, we're doing it on black. So what a good excuse for me to have to use my embossing powder, right? Now, I have to make sure that this is even on here. You know what? Just go to, like when you say 10.5, you're going to go to your 10, which is there, and halfway through. 0.5 means 5 millimeters or 10.5 centimeters. It's really quite simple. So the 0.5 is right in the middle mark in there. Let me just, I'm just seeing if this is straight. Don't think it is. You know what? I like doing this onto a silicone mat because then I can see if it is straight. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. So just bring this down here so I can see the paper. So, yeah, it's, I don't count by lines. I just go by the numbers that are actually on there. Okay. Now we're just going to use some white embossing powder. Yeah. Whoops, look at that. I don't know if I'm going to get that off. You know what? I think I better go do another one. You are simply the best. Let's do that again. And that's a crooked piece of paper. I don't know if you can notice that, but I sure can. I'm just going to come in and let's put that on the 1/2 inch line. Just like that. There we go. And of course, have you noticed that there's, now don't think it's your trimmer. You know, you have a lot of different fraying and stuff when you're cutting your cardstock. And that's because there's so much fiber in, there's so much fiber in your, in the paper now. So consequently, it's unfortunate, but it is going and it's showing up with more, it's kind of jaggy, or it's, yeah. I don't, whoops. Let's try this again. I want to go down just a bit. There we go. Let's try that again. And we got to be way more careful when we dip it into the white embossing powder. Yeah, lots of things have changed, let me tell you. I remember when my son was, well, mind you, he was pretty smart in math, but we would drive down to Vancouver and he would say, "Mom, how fast are you going?" And he would look at the mileage things and he says, "We will be there in 2 hours and 43 minutes. Just crack me up. Yeah, I hope that that helps a little bit more, because honestly, it is not that difficult with the centimeters are actually easier than us using 7/8 of an inch. Do you know what I'm saying? It's because ours are like two tickies if it's 7/8 off of what that full amount is, or you know, the inch is. So yeah, I still say centimeters are easier. However, I do like the size of our cards better. Mm. Yeah, you know, if there's a card that you really, really like that is metric, um, I actually have a really good one that shows different layers with it. I could maybe post that in my files. There we are. And let's go here. And then we are just actually going to go put this right here. I'm going to put that up on dimensionals on two sides. Now it's black, so maybe we could even use black dimensionals. I have the big ones here. I do. And that's just going to go, you know what, I can move that up just a bit more. Like that. And then, talk about simplicity, right? And then these neutral dots are absolutely amazing. I could turn around and I could take my blends, and let's do that. I'm going to color, oh, you know what, I need to use the dark one. Is this the dark one? Yes. Don't know if I'm going to use the two bigs. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that one there, that one there, and I think we need another big one. When you are coloring your gems, be very, very careful because you can wreck your ends on your blends. Yes, you sand yours off. You can do it with a white eraser, or you can use a sanding block, or you could use an emery board. Yeah, it's because of the fibers. It's not your, it isn't your, look at that. We could have used the black too. What would that have been like? I think the black would have been kind of nice. Let me just see. So yeah, you want to be really, really, you know, I think I'm going to, jeez, how bad is that? Yeah. There we go. And if we wanted to, we could have used some black twine. Oh, thank you. Yeah, a nail file, emery board, any of that sort of stuff. Now, if we wanted to, we could have, and you know what, I might just do this after the fact, because I think it just needs a bit more. This is from the Essential Twine. It comes in black, it comes in gray, it comes in crumb cake white. Yeah, so I'm just going to do a double one of these. Just pull this one down. Cut that one through. There we go. Now I can put that right underneath, or we could put that right up top. And I think I'll just put it right over there. Yeah, it's frustrating, but what do you do? The paper mills are not making, there's not a lot of paper mills anymore. That's why our cardstock went up so much, because of the lack of the paper mills. It's not as many, there's not the competition. They can charge what they want to charge, and yeah. Okay, so we also have to finish the inside of the card. So I was just going to come in with this one here. Let's go ahead and put that. Oof, I don't have my bigger block here. Well, I think I can get away with this one. I'll come in with my Memento. And remember that I use the Memento like this. And this is where I've used a white pad, and I have not filled it with the white ink. I have actually filled it with Memento ink. And the Memento ink is back in stocks, so the refill. Ah, thanks. Quite simple, but now if I wanted to, I could color that, but I think I'm going to leave it black and white, black. And that's just going to go there. Oh, I should have used the seal on this. Thank you. So I can't wait to see what you do with this sketch. It will be showing at 10:45, which is shortly. And yeah, so there we go. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you like that, give me the thumbs up, share my video. I really do appreciate it when you do that. Remember, on Monday, I will be going live with another fancy fold or a 3D project. I'm trying to go back and forth, but 3D projects are a little bit harder to find. I probably, after my retreat, I'll show you some other 3D items. It is a good thing. Yeah, it's just amazing. So anyways, all right, so thank you. Now, if you are like me, and this is my whole reason why I joined Stampin' Up. If you're like me and you have to see that stuff ahead of time, why not join my team? Because honestly, you get to see new stuff that's coming available for us to purchase on the 5th of August. And available for you for the 2nd of September. So reach out, because honestly, it's the best part. That and all the people that I've met. That is for sure. All right, you guys. Sip and Stamp tonight. If you are available, join us. I know it's pretty late for my European friends over there. I do have some Australian friends that do join us from time to time. And remember to create, because it's great for the soul. We will see you Monday at 12 noon Pacific. Bye for now.